3 years after the money was approved by Congress to stop the sewage from Tijuana, not a single dime has been released from Washington. And that sewage is closing down beaches like never before.
When you shut down any city or any part of our regional coastal economy, we are talking about hundreds of thousands of jobs. We're talking about billions of dollars regionally every year that is reliant on coastal tourism. So I'm making that case to our friends in the Senate, to Senator Carper, to Senator Capito. Look, this is about our environment, yes, but it's also about our economy. It's about our entire region being able to prosper.
No city knows that better than Imperial Beach. For the past 4 decades, that's right, 40 years, the personal dumping ground for raw sewage, heavy metals, chemicals, and pesticides from Mexico, all of which violates the Clean Water Act, and none of which have ever been prosecuted.
I'm very happy that we have the Clean Water Act and the Clean Air Act in the United States. And with that, we've got to do everything we can to ensure that our water and our air quality in the greater San Diego region is excellent, and that we don't have to close down places along our coast.
Now, you would think that stopping the longest running environmental crime in American history would be important enough to put petty politics aside, at least on this side of the border. But no, leave it to the U.S. Senate to screw this up too. Apparently, that money is now being held hostage by 2 senators from the East Coast.
Very happy that we have the Clean Water Act and the Clean Air Act in the United States. And with that, we've got to do everything we can to ensure that our water and our air quality in the greater San Diego region is excellent, and that we don't have to close down places along our coast.
Making this even more frustrating, the EPA is ready to get to work today. They have a list of projects they could start immediately and make a difference immediately. But nothing happens until that $300 million is released, and now our own government is standing in the way.
Look, if I had a dime for every time the Senate slowed things down, in my 3 years in Congress, I'd be a wealthy guy. But we know that persistence pays off. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get Senator Capito, Senator Carper to say, look, whatever issues we've got with this, we've got to move forward, because the entire San Diego region, I would say all of Southern California, really depends on this money moving forward and getting transferred from the EPA to the IBWC so they can get to work.
So after many, many months of wondering where is that $300 million, why has it not been released from lawmakers in Washington, D.C., we now know there are 2 culprits, and both of them are on the East Coast. One of them named Capito, and one of them named Carper, both of them senators. They are holding up our money on the West Coast for the longest running environmental disaster in American history. For what reason? We don't know. But we do know that politics can be ugly, and in this case, it is as ugly as it gets. As soon as we get that money over here, we're going to start to fix things on our side of the border, but we need that money first. We're in Coronado, which happens to be open today, thank goodness. Dan Plants, KUSI News.